Okay, so here we are with the 2018 Kawasaki Vulcan S. I painted this bike, well, I actually plastic dipped it green. This bike was originally white, and I didn't like white. So I got some plastic dip from dipyourcar.com, and I got the green. However, the green wasn't quite exactly the shade of green I wanted. So I'm not super happy with the color. It's okay, but I'm not super happy with it. So I decided I'm gonna change the color. I'm gonna make it blue. So I got this new plastic dip from dipyourcar.com. That's a kind of a medium to dark blue. And I also got the glossifier for it, which will make it shiny instead of matte. Although I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with it, the shiny look yet. I wanna see what the matte looks like first, the matte blue, and then make a decision. So here we are getting ready to take the green off. And they say it peels off like a sticker, which they're absolutely correct, it sure does. I tried it on this piece. I took this piece off from right here. And this was originally black, this trim piece. So I peeled it off and it came off very, very easy. It's kind of like a sticker, very adhesive sticker, but it comes off very easily, kind of like a rubberized sticker. So as you can see, the first trim piece, I removed it. Took about a minute to just peel that off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take off the other pieces and go from there. And so if you're interested and you have a Vulcan, these are 3mm Allen heads. So I just put it on my electric gun, it just makes it faster. And I'm gonna take off these bolts, I'm gonna peel this off and show you how it works. And then this video, I'll do a little mini tutorial on plastic dipping from an amateur perspective, someone who's only done this one time. By the way, there are a few mistakes that I made, which I'm gonna correct. And normally, if you're just looking at the motorcycle, you probably would never notice. And I don't know how it would show up on this video, but if you look carefully, right here at the edges, I didn't do a very good job. You can kind of still see the white. Hopefully you can still see that or not. I'm not sure, but anyway, you can still see a little bit of white there. Another mistake that I made is right here at the gas tank. I'm not sure how well it shows up on the video, but right here at this crease, you can kind of still see the white through it. On the side, it looks perfect. It looks nice and green, but on this side here, right at the edge, you can still see some white. So we're gonna correct that. Gonna make sure I do a real good job there. There's also one more issue is, you can't see it right now probably because of this plastic, but there's a mount, a rubber mount back here for the gas tank, and this piece that sticks into the gas tank, there's a little notch there with a rubber groove for like a push pin. And I just taped that off last time. I didn't think it was gonna show through. So when I sprayed it and I took the tape off, you can still see some white. So this time I'm gonna take that grommet out and go ahead and spray even that little metal tab. Other than that, the bike looks good. I don't think I made any other mistakes that I can think of. Looks pretty good. I'll make sure I'm real careful with the edge trim here. Make sure I get that real good. But otherwise, I'm gonna take this piece off and I'll try to demonstrate how to peel it off. All right, so here we are with the other trim piece I took off. So to get the plastic dip off, like I said before, this is kind of like a sticker. So you just kind of grab the edge of it, and you can use your fingernail or like this X-Acto knife and just kind of grab it and start peeling it back. And then you can actually start rolling it kind of like a sticker. And getting started is kind of the hard part, but once it starts coming off, it actually peels like a sticker, as you can see. The grooves in here where the screw holes are kind of a pain in the butt, but once you get past that, it peels off real good. So all I'm doing is just pretty much rolling it. And as you can see, it's starting to roll up. And then you just, when you have enough to grab it with your hands, you just kind of grab it, and then you start peeling it just like a sticker. and it starts coming off. And as you can see underneath, it's not damaged. It doesn't stick to, there's no glue, resin, or anything like that. It's just like a sticker, like a vinyl sticker. And all I'm gonna do is just go around and start peeling this thing off. And now all I gotta do is just make sure I clean out the screw holes here real good, get the old Plasti-Dip off. I also bought some dissolver, they sell this Plasti-Dip dissolver that you can just spray on it, give it a couple minutes and then rinse it with a hose. I thought I would use that on the gas tank probably if I need it, or any crevices that I have a hard time just kind of getting into and getting the old stuff off. But as you can see, it's nice and black. There's no damage to it. The one thing I did notice, and I don't think it was like this, is that there's like little flakes, like green flakes on this paint. So I'm not sure why it's like that. Hopefully that'll just come off with some dissolver, or I'll try to clean it and see if it'll come off, because you can tell it's like the metallic part of the Plasti-Dip is like stuck on there. But if you roll it like this with your hand, you can see that it smudges off. So I think maybe some glass cleaner or some purple power will probably take that off. And I'll clean it up real good, rub it down with maybe some rubbing alcohol, or I don't know, clean it up real good before I start putting the blue on there. So now it's just time to do the other two trim pieces. And then I got to put the bike up on the stand. Unfortunately on this motorcycle, to get the fender off, this piece, you have to take the wheel off. I know it's stupid because there's a groove right here behind the fork, and you can't just slide this fender out. You have to take the wheel off and slide it straight down. So I'm gonna have to put it up on the stand. So it's gonna be kind of a tedious process to get this all done, but once it's all done, the actual application part is pretty easy, and I'll show you how that works. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of the bike and take the Plasti-Dip off, and then I'll show you the rest. So now I got the seats and everything off, and I'm peeling the Plasti-Dip off the tank, and as you can see, it's like a vinyl sticker, and it just comes right off, showing the white underneath. Now all I gotta do is do this same thing all the way around. And as you can see, this is where I was talking about, where I taped it off instead of taking this grommet out. But I think this time I'm gonna take that grommet out. And I also got some Plasti-Dip dissolver where it's real light right here. It might be a problem to take off, although now that I'm scratching at it, it's probably not. But just gonna make sure that's all clean all around these crevices. I probably need the dip dissolver just to make it come off easier. And once it's done, I'm just gonna clean up this tank, and it'll be ready to paint all over again. And stay tuned. Okay, so here are the trim pieces. As you can see, they already had one coat put on. Basically, you want to put this Plasti-Dip on real light. The instructions tell you to do like 7 or 8 coats, light coats, and wait about 30 minutes between each coat, but I never wait that long. I waited about 10 minutes between each coat, and as long as you can see in the reflection that it's not shiny, it looks like it's drying, it's safe to put it on. I figured I'd try it on this trim piece first in case something happens. It's just easier to take off. But I found that if you just wait about 10 minutes or until you can tell it's not wet anymore, it's safe to put on. And I'll demonstrate on the tail section on how to apply it. But basically you just want to do light coats. And that's about it for the first coat. And then I'll just go over these pieces. And then as far as the tank goes, I put the saran wrap that I got off Amazon. I was going to use it for something else, but it didn't work out. So I got this really cheap, thin saran wrap. And then all I did was take out these grommets. There's rubber grommets that go in here. I took those out this time because remember I made a mistake and just taped over these last time, but you could see it through a crack from the trim piece. So that's what I did. And then these grommets up here are really hard to get out, so I just put a little piece of tape over it. And then same thing with the gas tank. There's screw holes that go in here. I don't want Plasti-Dip to get in there, so I just put some tape over top of that. And then same thing with the gas tank. I just taped it off, cut all the way around it, so now I can just spray it. And then when it's done, I can just peel that off. And that's about it. And then, as I mentioned, I had to take the front wheel off because you can't get the fender out unless the wheel is off. So I took all that off. So as you can see, this piece still looks a little wet. It takes about 10 minutes, and then you can go and put another coat on. So 7 coats, 10 minutes a piece. Probably take about an hour and a half to do all the pieces, waiting 10 minutes between each coat, maybe even 15 minutes. You should be good. 7 or 8 coats should cover it. And I'll keep doing that until I got all of them on. And then what I'll do is this time I'm going to leave it for about at least 2 days for it to set up real nice. You could probably put it back together the next day, but I'm probably going to just wait 2 days. So today is, what's today, Sunday? So I'll probably put it back together Tuesday or Wednesday morning, and then it should be all set. But anyway, I'll show you the end result when it's finished. Okay, so here's the end result on the gas tank. This was about 6 or 7 coats. I'm very happy with it. It looks really good. And I made sure this time to get the front of the gas tank and all the crevices even down below. And coincidentally, unlike the green, you can kind of see the Kawasaki, the black logo, kind of shine through this one a lot better than the green. It's subtle, but it looks nice. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. I might, just for shits and giggles, I might put one more coat on, but I think it looks great. And then this is the second coat on the front fender. As you can see, the white is still shining through, but I think probably 4 more coats on this and it'll look great. And then also the rear fender is done and it looks great. Even coverage, all the crevices are covered. You can't see the white shining through. I think it looks great. So I'm gonna let this all dry, finish up the front fender, give it about a day or 2 and put the bike back together, and then I'll show what it looks like. All right, so the Vulcan is now done. It is painted what I call blue, but it kind of looks slightly purple. Not sure how I feel about that, but I guess I'll get used to it. Looking good, and I made sure I pay attention to no mistakes. There is one tiny mistake, which I won't point out, but I don't think anyone will notice except me because I know it's there. Also, this Danmoto Highwayman exhaust pipe, not only is it loud, but it vibrates a lot. And these 2 springs, I actually ended up losing somehow. So I had to get a couple new ones. And then this decorative plate, one of the screws fell out of it. So I'm gonna have to get another one and Loctite it in. But otherwise, it's looking good. Everything's good. And I'm pretty happy with the color. Very happy with the color change. So if you have any questions, any comments, put them in the comment section. I'll try to answer any questions you might have if you want to do this yourself. It's not a hard project. It's time consuming. It took, the time to disassemble the bike, take all the seat and fenders off. And remember I said you have to take the front wheel off. It's not a hard process, but it takes a little bit. But I would say total time, disassembly, reassembly, waiting for it to dry, I would say probably start one day in the morning, put it back together the next day. And total painting time, probably about 5 hours, maybe, something like that. And then the reassembly obviously has to happen the next day to get the plastic dip to cure, so that when you put it back together, you don't accidentally ding it or scratch it. But otherwise, a 2-day process just to get it looking good. And it's not hard, just time consuming, but it's well worth it. And for 40 bucks, it beats paying for a paint job, which I found out is about $800 to $1,000. And that would be about the quarter or 25% of the value of the bike, or at least what I paid for it. So 40 bucks, can't really beat it. And if you ever change your mind, you can just peel right back off, go right back to the white, or change it to a different color if you want. But anyway, that's the Vulcan repainted blue. So like I said, any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I'll be glad to answer any questions.